And I think when it comes to like stuff being done black, like I asked about Kamala, like, yeah, she might not be public, but when she pop out, we shouldn't highlight the fact that she doing some shit that you don't agree with.
Right. Mute. I'm gonna start recording here. I'm recording here.
Check, 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 check.
Alright. You ready?
Oh yeah.
He a pro. He a pro.
Yeah, man. You got me doing research and shit.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. We actually starting on time. I'm excited.
Yo, I dead ass thought it was for 6 o'clock. So
You thought this was at 6? That's why you were so early.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's cool. We had.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll be there at 5.
Hey, he learned me something while we sat around and drank good tequila. Thank you, Marve, for was it? It's the Rocks tequila.
Yep. What, Lobos?
Lobos. Yeah, it's actually really smooth.
It's smooth.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. So yeah, I'm sipping on some tequila, Topo Chico, and lemonade.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right now.
That's
Just
crazy.
Keep it cute.
I definitely thought you had a bottle of water.
Yeah, no, I had it in a Topo Chico bottle, y'all.
That's crazy.
Very covert. All right, y'all. So welcome back to The Green Route, Season 2, Episode 7.
Oh, it's my number.
That's your number?
My football number, 7.
This is the Lord's doing.
Man,
this is God.
Y'all knew I was coming.
I'm just saying. This may be the Lord's doing. But, hey, I have a stranger turned friend, crazy enough. We met maybe 2 years ago.
At a cigar lounge.
At a cigar lounge. Shout out to Lamar.
Toast for Charity.
Toast for Charity for inviting us to some event. I don't even know what we were there for. But yeah, we were at a cigar lounge, and it was a room full of incredible people, including the young man who created Bull Young.
Yep, with Chef Danny.
Yeah, that was good. His food was good, all of that. So Reggie and I, we met then and just kind of synced. It's crazy that everyone who has been on season 2 thus far has kind of been that story for me.
Yeah.
Someone I've met in Dallas and just kind of developed a relationship with. So yeah, I have Reggie Calhoun Jr. with me. He is an athlete, a coach, an athletic developer, a teacher, a founder of a whole ass college. Just a dope dude. When I met him and I learned about what he was doing with these young men, with college athletes, student athletes, I just kind of fell in love with his vision, and I've watched it grow. Actually, he was at Deion's first home game this past weekend. So I mean, humble flex. I'm just saying.
You know, we try to just do what we gotta do.
Is that if the Lord say the same?
The Lord say the same. You know.
So yeah, you want to tell the people something about you real quick?
Yeah, man. I'm originally from New Orleans.
Shout out to Noah.
10-year Army vet. So I know you know that.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
when did you have time to be in the Army?
Exactly. My life is crazy, right?
What?
I did 10 years in the Army. I played college ball too. And I ended up in Dallas because I did like most athletes do, try to play pro. It ain't work out, so I stayed here. I ain't want to go back home, so I just stayed here and made my life what it is now.
When you say try to play pro, like you came to Dallas for...
Yeah, I combine trained with Deion them.
Okay.
So they was my trainers.
Got it.
And I worked out with them and learned the game a little bit more. And I tried out for like about 7 different teams and some combines, stuff like that. And when the bell clocked and said it was done, it was over with.
Okay.
And
hey.
I started using my degree.
That's right. I love that. And so you are teaching young men now.
Yep. How to actually navigate this college space.
That's great.
What's actually out there. And although I'm not using my degree now, I did in the beginning. So my degree is exercise science.
Okay.
So I was doing that for a while.
So you know how to keep these boys looking good.
Yeah, rehab, post-rehab,
Yeah.
nutrition, the whole nine. But it kind of got boring after a while.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to be in the mix. Mm-hmm. And I just went the whole development route, so holistically.
That's dope.
So that was my goal.
That's dope. I really still want to come see the program.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And the school, because I think it's amazing. I feel like, you know, coming out of Crenshaw in particular, we had a lot of boys in particular who they wanted to go pro, and when it didn't happen, they didn't really know what to do with themselves because all they had ever known their whole lives was this one thing.
Yeah,
right?
17 years of playing ball.
That's right. That's what you do,
and to go over with.
Yeah,
and it's done. So
it's like, what do I do with myself? So I love the fact that you were developing them off the field as well.
Yeah.
So that they knew they had options.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
definitely.
that's pretty dope. All right. Cool. Well, I got my boy with me. We got my drinks. I got mine. Yours is over there too. You good?
Right there,
I thought you were done for the night.
No. You know, I got a little glass.
little something. All right, you want to talk some politics real quick?
Oh yeah, you got me in the mix now.
Okay, I love it. All right, y'all. So we're gonna run down this top 5 real quick, and then we are going to get into Reggie's interview because I really want y'all to know more about what he's doing, RPA, and you know how he is using everything that he is to really develop. We had a great conversation about Deion Sanders as well. He schooled me on some things, and so yeah, we may be able to get into that, but
maybe
Nathan said we got to keep this episode pacing the right way, so we gonna see.
Yeah, that's a tangent right there.
It could go all night. That's a special episode maybe. That may be a special episode. All right, y'all. So first topic for tonight. So Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, he went on and launched an impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden. So yesterday, I reported early in the morning that the Senate had actually gone over to the House of Representatives. The GOP senators in particular had gone over to the GOP House and was like, hey, y'all don't really have enough evidence for this. Please do not launch this inquiry. Focus on the issues at hand. And the issues at hand that they really wanted the House to focus on is, number one, the impending government shutdown. If they do not pass a budget by, I think it's October 15th, is when the new fiscal year starts. things like the fact that North Korea is hanging out with China and big kicking it, talking about pew-pews and weapons.
Yep.
We definitely have an issue wherein G20 was lightly attended. BRICS is growing. We are starting to see certain alliances on foreign affair front. So there's a lot of shit going on. Right. And so the Senate was like, hey, House, chill out on the whole impeachment thing. Hunter Biden is already getting ready to be indicted at the end of towards the end of the month. Let's chill and focus on things that the House needs to be focusing on. But we got to run this back. We have to run it back to when we were trying to confirm a Speaker of the House. You remember when it took, I think it was 15 votes to get Kevin McCarthy in that seat?
Yeah, nobody likes him like that.
They kept voting over and over and over, and it was usually like one person holding out or two people withholding their vote or whatever. What we found out was that the Freedom Caucus, it's a very far right leaning group in the House, was actually holding up the vote in order to get Kevin McCarthy to make certain concessions. Some of those concessions had to do with spending, budget, things like that. So what's actually happening in the House right now is more political than it is anything else. The Freedom Caucus, who, by the way, kicked out Marjorie Taylor Greene a couple months ago, because even she was too batshit crazy for them, was like, hey, Kevin, don't forget that when we put you in this seat, here are the list of things that you agreed to. One of those things was to support an impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden. So that is literally what we are seeing right now. The House Freedom Caucus has also said that they will withhold their vote from the budget, the budget bill, if certain demands aren't reached, including cutting spending for certain entitlement programs. And I put that in quotes because I feel like taxpayers pay for these things. So how are they entitlement? But also, there was, ending the weaponization of government, to look into, potential wrongdoing of former officials, which is interesting because now they're using the government to look into potential wrongdoings of a current official.
They weaponize them.
But okay. And then there was also rhetoric around ending woke policies within the congressional body. So a lot of this definitely has to do with the Freedom Caucus reminding Kevin McCarthy that he only got that seat because he agreed to certain things. And so sadly, Kevin McCarthy's hands are tied lest he be ousted by the Freedom Caucus and by their supporters. So yeah, y'all, this whole impeachment thing has to do with the belief that Joe Biden potentially enriched himself by being on the peripheral of Hunter Biden's business dealings with foreign bodies. Ukraine is listed, China is listed, there are a couple other nations listed. But all in all, I will say that Hunter Biden is already under investigation himself.
Right.
I do appreciate, I'm gonna be honest, because a lot of people was like, oh, you sound like a conservative. But I'm gonna be honest, I feel like a lot of times people have the privilege of being related to someone very powerful and they get away with a lot of shit. Hunter Biden evaded taxes and had a gun when he wasn't supposed to have one. And anyone else, if it were you and I, we'd have to pay our debt to society for those charges. Hunter Biden had already figured out, well, his legal team had already figured out a plea deal, which he expected to go into court and for it to happen right away. But the judge was like, hold on, wait a minute, like, what does this plea actually cover? Now it looks like it's actually going to go to trial. They actually assigned a special counsel, if I'm not mistaken. And now it looks like he's going to be indicted by the end of the month, which means this thing is going to go to trial. And I genuinely think it needs to, because anyone else, if we were not the president's son, would have to go and have our day in court for the things that he initially pleaded guilty to when he thought he was getting a plea, but now has pled not guilty to when he knows his shit is going to trial.
So let me ask you this. Do you think if they do open up the investigation in Biden, does it help Hunter?
Does it help Hunter?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because Hunter is being looked at for two completely different things. So this is the tax evasion and this is the gun charge. They're looking at Biden because of Hunter's business deals with foreign. So I think that's a completely separate thing.
But you know, people can twist that and try to use it in favor of, well, because that's why I kind of read like they don't want McCarthy to do it, because if Biden is found not guilty or not implicit, it's going to boost up his.
Go up.
Yeah. So it's like, do you really want to go down that road?
Right.
But then you also look at, you know, is this about Biden or is it about the prisoner swap?
The prisoner swap?
Yeah.
What prisoner swap?
You know, so they did the 5 Americans, 5 Iranians.
I don't think so I think those two things are separate too. So
all this impeachment stuff, I think Biden has been doing a lot of wild stuff. So
this is U.S. politics right now, though,
so
honestly.
It's like and you put me on, so I'm like, every video you drop, I go and I watch some shit. I'm like, yo, like America really on some
we on some bullshit,
some
right
other
now.
shit right now. I'm like, damn, it's crazy. So Hunter is that family member who you don't want around. Yeah,
Hunter is the drug dealing cousin.
Yes,
the drug addicted cousin.
Yeah, bro be wilding. And then if I'm the dad, I'm like, bro, I've done all I can.
I'm trying to be president, God damn it.
Shit, I've done all I can to help you, bro. Like, at some point, I'm going to say, hey, look, it's me and you. Yeah, I got to save me.
and sadly, I actually think that may be what happens. Given that his father is really, I mean, he's attempting to run for his second term. And here you go being caught on camera with prostitutes, smoking crack. And I don't mean that figuratively.
That's kind of what I want to get to. Like, that's what I was asking. Like if they do this to Biden, does that affect Hunter? Because if they do anything to Biden and Hunter gets off, Biden doesn't get a chance to win the second one.
I agree. I actually think Hunter going to trial is going to be good for Biden, because it's going to show that, like,
he's serious with the
Biden isn't using his privilege to cover his son's sins.
Yep. And that's why I read, like, so people were saying that McCarthy shouldn't be trying to like do it,
right?
Because if y'all do, and then Hunter gets off, and it's nothing, like, now y'all just you just help them win. Bro. Like, relax. Like, chill, bro. We got some other stuff to worry about. Like, let's worry about this.
Apparently, America really likes its presidents to be criminals now. Because like, you think about Trump, right? Like, every time Trump gets indicted, he goes up in the polls. I don't know. I think we may be partial to, like, criminal presidents at this point.
But that's what we like, though. We like the stories of the big meaches and
I think I'm Big Meech
and the mafia bosses and dudes waiting from America. Pablo, like, everybody want to be Pablo. Like, so everybody loves the person who got over on the government, even if they're in government.
Man, let's run for city council, but we got to go commit some crimes first. You down?
Hell no, I'm gonna get my ass the book. I'm dark skinned. That's over for me.
Yeah,
it's over for me. I'm out of there.
I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle.
You got locks. It's over with for you.
I'm kind of in the middle of, like, the skin privilege, but this hair is definitely gonna be like, bitch, sit your ass
in the mix. But nah, man, I thought the story was kind of like, it was kind of like McCarthy just kind of just threw it out there, just to say, hey, bro, I did it.
Yeah. I think you captured it right there.
Yeah.
I think you captured it right there.
Yeah, I did what y'all said, right?
Yep. This is what you wanted me to do, right? All right. Now, and you're 100% right. So that call to not do this came from the Senate, who was just like, y'all are only going to help him if it comes that there is no evidence that he enriched himself. He had no, like, once he gets recused of all wrongdoing, he's going to shoot up. And now and I'm gonna be honest, if I was Biden, I would have my PR person working to spin that story. Like, start coming up with scenarios right now, so as soon as whatever happens, like, I can figure out a way to spin it. And Trump is really a master at that. Yeah. And that, like, he is always making himself the martyr. Like,
in everything.
And
it don't matter what this man does.
Like, he can cheat somebody out of $5 million, and he'll be like, yeah, they're coming after me, and they'll come after you, and people will be like,
you know
Trump.
What? They might come after me too. And you're like, damn, so that could be me, right? You know, but But now, man, really? I think McCarthy like really just did his due diligence and say, like, this is what I'm supposed to do, and I did it.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna let y'all tell me I shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna back down.
Because remember, they were mad at McCarthy too for even cutting a deal on the last government shutdown, the potential shutdown. Like, they were upset that he went to the White House and actually negotiated with Biden to pass a spending bill in order for us to, number one, raise the debt ceiling, but also, avoid a shutdown. So, but I said when it took 14, 15 votes to get him in that seat, I remember saying he is going to have the worst time because he gave up too much to get the seat. And they had him by the balls. And this right here proves exactly what you said, that now he has to do stuff just to say, all right, I did it.
But see, people like him, he a team player for his greater good, though. So you got to watch in the next 5 years who he becomes, though.
You think he's going to be respectable, though?
Yeah.
You think so?
Because whoever gonna back him gonna know, like, he gonna do whatever he gotta do for his benefit. So let me present him a win-win where I get what I want and he get what he want, because he gonna do it. He gonna crash and burn. He don't even care. Like, even if he don't believe in it, as long as he get what he looking for.
But I guess that's where my question about respectability comes in. Like, because I'm looking at him like, my boy, you ain't got no backbone. Like, you letting him bitch you right now.
Got to. Sometimes you gotta play small to.
On the national scale, though?
Yeah. Oof. The art of war. You gotta win small, appear weak.
As a Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna let you play with me like that on that scale.
Because you think about the whole big
play with
deal,
me on
right?
the city council.
Because Trump, they play on Trump name a lot, but he doesn't care though.
He does care because he responds all the time.
But he has to show you that I'm willing to go toe to toe with it. So you look at McCarthy, he's on the other side of Trump. Like, same kind of responses, but he does it as if he's like a meek, weak, I'll do it.
You better than me, because I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, he better than me, because I'm telling you the truth.
It couldn't be me.
I ain't doing that.
Like, you can play with me maybe at the state level, but you talking about the United States House of Representatives. You gonna play with me? You gonna play with me like that on the United States House? Nah.
Yeah, but if I could get to the global stage, I'm straight. Like,
where you going after this, sir?
Hey,
a senator?
Hey, my man got aspirations.
Listen.
Granted, I don't really know much about him, but just seeing how he's allowing certain things to play out whenever he speaks, I know he don't even believe what he's saying. It's just like, yeah, he just reading off paper right now. He just reading.
I'm gonna be honest. McCarthy looks like McBitch to me. I'm gonna be 100% honest, but I'm gonna leave that right there. All right, we got to get to number 2 because Nathan gonna be yelling at me. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about this dude who escaped from prison in Pennsylvania. So they caught him this morning.
It's crazy.
They caught him this morning. But so I've been following this story, and the deeper I dug into it, the crazier it got. Okay, y'all. So the dude we're talking about is the inmate who escaped from a county jail, a county prison in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He was in there for first-degree murder. He had a life sentence because he murdered his ex-girlfriend in front of her children,
That's crazy.
Apparently. What I didn't know, though, is that he had actually fled to the United States from Brazil.
From killing a nigga.
Because of a 2015.
Yeah. he was the shit.
What? So then I'm like, okay, he was here illegally. He crossed the border illegally. He was undocumented. Not that I have, let's be clear, not that I have, right, any issues with people who come here seeking refuge because there's unrest in their country. But when you come here seeking refuge because you're running from the laws in your country,
yeah,
I have a real problem with that, specifically when you a murderer.
Yeah.
Specifically when you were a whole ass murderer. So the man comes over here, starts dating this woman. The sister of the woman said that he turned into like a green-eyed monster, just super jealous. He went from being a very sweet neighbor to a super jealous boyfriend. Had threatened the girlfriend several times. They broke up, continued to threaten her, and then finally killed her in front of her children. So he's doing a life sentence. He's in this prison, and he crab walks.
That's crazy.
Did you see the video?
Oh, I watched it.
Crab walks between, and it was almost like, did you like have to make sure it was the right corridor? Because it was almost like, had he been a little shorter, he wouldn't have been able to make it. It was almost perfect.
Yeah.
Like, how far his arms were stretched. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. He goes up into the HVAC, escapes that way. So yesterday, when I was actually putting our notes together, come to find out that he had an interaction with a homeowner. He went into the homeowner's garage and stole a rifle. The homeowner happened to be in the garage at that time, saw him taking the rifle, pulled a pistol out on him.
Can't shoot.
Can't shoot worth a damn.
Trash.
Shot at him, I think they said 3 times.
Trash.
Didn't hit nothing. Obviously did not injure him because he said the man darted off with his rifle. And then this morning, as I was on TikTok Live going through the morning headlines, someone told me that he had been arrested an hour ago. I'm just trying to figure out, number one, what the fuck? Number two, I had to look up why he hadn't been deported, especially given that he was wanted in Brazil. And what I did find was that some immigration legal experts weighed in and said that sometimes in these cases where very heinous crimes have been perpetrated, the United States in particular will hold on to whoever the criminal is to make sure that justice is actually served. So I guess the fear is that if we send him back to Brazil for whatever he's facing there, he may get 5, 10, 15 years, and we just don't think that's good enough. So I'm going to keep him here and give him that life sentence in this county prison and make sure that he actually suffers for what he's done. I just think it's batshit crazy. I'm glad they found the man, but I also think it's crazy that, like, it took 2 weeks, I believe. He had been on the run for 2 weeks to catch this man. And now I'm trying to figure out, like, what do we do with him now? Like, can we get together and, like, take turns whipping his ass? Like, what happens now?
My question on that, right? How does somebody who's undocumented go to jail?
What you mean?
How you process him? What is his name? What is his information? How are you processing somebody who's not documented in America?
Yeah, I think that's when you you use your relationships with wherever he's from to identify him. Because, I mean, we know he doesn't have a social security number, right? But chances are maybe he had
a TIN number.
Yeah, something,
but
right?
Then, I don't know if you noticed, but somebody else escaped from their prison too.
Recently?
On the same way.
Wait, so they got a crab walking problem in this prison?
Yeah, so where he escaped from, they end up having a consultant come in and do a strategy deal, and they put some razor wire up top. Well, Buddy just went through the razor wire.
So I did read that he went through the razor. So he must have been cut up.
Yeah, he just went through the razor wire.
Because when you looked at what he had on, he wasn't dressed any different than anybody else in the yard.
So Buddy, somebody had already escaped from the prison before this. The same way.
Like, put a little razor wire up. That'll stop him.
Put the razor wire up there, and you'll be straight. No, Buddy was like,
he said, "I'm from Brazil, bitch.
Bro, I've been through the worst.
I eat this for breakfast.
Like,
what y'all talking about?
If I get caught, I might as well go and get cut up."
So the consultant's idea was
to put razor wire.
Throw some razor wire up, and that'll stop him.
Not. Hey, let's fix the walkway or make it short, like longer, like I don't know. What's the average height of a person? Okay, let's make sure that the goddamn walkway.
Yeah, well, let's extend this walkway a bit. So, okay, I wonder. So, do you think then that the recent prisoner knew about the previous escapee?
Probably did. I mean, if you watching the news, I mean, you probably saw it, or people in the compound talking.
Told him, yeah, like this how the other dude. Because if you watch the video, you'll see that. Did you see the dude who seemed like he was kind of watching his back?
Yeah, it took an hour.
Yeah.
So it took an hour for them to
realize he was gone. That's crazy.
Come on, cuz.
That's crazy.
The hell y'all was doing? And then they put the guard who was on duty on administrative leave. For what? It ain't his fault.
Yeah.
He in the tower.
And you know how many people I gotta watch?
This man over here in the corner, like I ain't got time to watch him.
Man.
But that just lets you know how much prisons are technically just an institution. It's just a company.
A holding. Well, and it's crazy because as soon as you said that the consultant suggested wire, I was thinking like, They didn't want to spend the money to do nothing else. Because when you think about like expanding the corridor, right? That's money right there. But yeah, we know that prisons are a business in this country. Like, and a lot of them are privately owned and held. And so it is about the profit. It is about the bottom line.
Bro put up chicken wire. Was like, bet, look, don't cross the line, dog.
That'll get them. Just a chalk line.
But he said, hey, don't cross the line right here.
Here's the rule.
It's the gun line, boss. Don't cross this one.
What's that movie with the gun line?
Life.
Yeah.
And brother, tell him about the gun line, boss. Tell him about the razor wire. Like, that's just kind of what it was. But yeah, Buddy went missing in Pennsylvania. Like how far could he have gotten?
Well, and I guess I was also trying to figure out why he was still in Pennsylvania when they found him. Like, you not on the move? What was the plan?
Buddy just wanted out.
What, like, you're not going to go north, south? You're just going to stay in Pennsylvania?
So Buddy went to jail for a reason. He crazy.
Yeah.
So
bad shit.
Nothing crossed his mind that was logic. Like, I'm going to just stay around here, bro. Like, I may escape and be close.
Like, Mexico don't really fuck with us like that. You could probably head on down there and make a little life for yourself.
Get to it.
You know, you from Brazil, so you probably speak, like, Portuguese, but, you know, you can learn Spanish. You'll be all right.
You know a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. So anyway, y'all, they found the man, but I guess our prisons need to do better than chicken coop wire.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the story.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Buddy was a serial killer.
We'll say this. We absolutely know that that prisons are a business in this country. And we have seen so many times people of our hue be sent to those prisons for financial reasons. But in this case, he absolutely deserved to be there.
Yeah, Buddy was crazy.
And if we can't even spend enough money to keep him there, like what are we doing, y'all? What are we doing?
This is America.
This is America, the motherfucking ghetto.
The ghetto.
The ghetto. All right, let's go on and get into number 3. We are pacing well. Let's talk about Tim Scott and him having a rough time in the Republican Party on the GOP presidential ticket, not because he's black, because he's not married. This is probably been one of my favorite stories for the last week or so.
He different though.
Dog
different.
That boy ain't right.
Yeah, he different.
That boy just ain't right.
He different.
Yeah, so a little overview, y'all. Tim Scott is running for president of the United States of America.
Yes.
On the Republican ticket. When Tim Scott announced he was running, he was actually touted as a fantastic alternative to a party that honestly has kind of put white men at the front, you know, when it comes to their presidential candidate. So he joined the ranks of Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley, who are also running on the Republican ticket as like these diverse candidates all of a sudden. It was great to see. It was good to see. I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of fucking with Nikki Haley. I'm not gonna even like flex. She showed out in that. To me, she was the star of that entire first debate, that primary debate. So Tim Scott is a junior senator from South Carolina. I think it's South Carolina. And you know, he's done his thing, right? Like he is considered just kind of an exception in the party, in that he's an evangelical Christian. Why you look like that?
Go ahead, finish what you were saying. Finish what you were saying.
Why'd your eyes roll up to the ceiling like that?
It's the Lobos.
So he is an evangelical Christian who practices Puritan culture. When he first got into the public eye, he was it a 30-year-old version, 40-year-old version, something like that. So he told everybody, like, you know, I'm saving myself, you know, for marriage. I wish more people had self-control, all of this. Since then, he has said that he's had sex. So, you know, the devil comes to steal and destroy, I guess. But Tim Scott is on the big stage. Now, as we all know, politics takes money, especially at that level. When you talk about the presidency, There was a new report that came out this year that said the 2024 election is expected to reach, I believe, $20 billion in spending for the election.
Shit.
It's nuts how much money goes into politics. So, of course, excuse me, Tim Scott, like every other candidate, is attempting to raise money so that he can campaign, he can buy ad space, airtime, all of that. Well, wealthy GOP donors who were getting ready to write a check was like, hold on, we like you, Tim, but why you ain't got no wife?
Yeah, that's a great question.
So Tim, I think there have only been 2 other presidents in our country's history who were not married. One.
Cleveland.
One president in our country's history who was not married. And there are still questions about his sexuality, by the way. Historians are still trying to figure out whether this man actually liked women. Neither here nor there. So these very wealthy donors are like, hold on, before I give you money, I need to understand why you don't have a wife. Now, remember, Tim touts himself as being an evangelical Christian. If you don't know anything about evangelical Christians, you will know right now that they are very conservative, hence why they tend to be the denomination of the far right GOP party. They do believe in marriage as an institution, that it is ordained by God, that it's a good thing to create and sustain the family as the American way, as the godly way, all of that. So here they are with Tim, like, hey, Tim, you said that you believed in what we believed, yet you don't have a wife. What's up with that? So Tim has come out and said a few things. Number one, that he didn't get married, or he hasn't been married because he grew up in poverty. He said that his father was pretty heavy into drinking, and so his mother actually had to flee when I think he was like 6 years old, sending him and his brother to go live with his grandparents. Mm-hmm. So the mom and the brother and Tim moved into the grandparents' house. He said his mother worked 16-hour days to put food on the table. So in his head, he was like, hey, I didn't get married because I told myself that I wanted to make sure I could take care of my mother, and if I couldn't do that, I wasn't going to start a family of my own. Now, I believe that Tim can absolutely take care of his mother. Miss Francis, I believe her name is. Shout out to Miss Francis. She's absolutely beautiful and sweet. And then the other thing that he said was that he just kind of hadn't found the girl. But then all of a sudden this week, or maybe in late last week, Tim came out and was like, actually, I got a girlfriend, and I'll introduce her to the world soon.
Bro made that up.
And now it's starting to feel like, Tim.
Relax, bro.
Tim, who is this girl?
Nah, like, I think, you think about like America, right? So people in America, we glorify that person who got a woman, mm-hmm. right? Or somebody at least have had sex, mm-hmm. right? So when you're saying like, oh, I haven't had sex, I don't have a girlfriend, I'm not married, to the average American man, bro, you are.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you risky, bro. And you want me to give you money? Like, I don't know you like that.
Yeah.
Like, now we have nothing to relate on. Like, we have no relationship on women. You haven't gone through the heartbreaks or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, you're not married. So it's like, if we put you in office and you happen to get married, what kind of women do you like? What's your track record with the women? Like, at least let us know you like the ratchets or something.
Oh, what if he came in there with like a tatted girl, like just
the sexy red girl? Just pull up. That'd be crazy.
That would be politics.
Hey, that'd be crazy.
Because it could work though.
Because as much as people didn't like Obama, whatever, Michelle showed proof that like, yo, like, she stand up, mm-hmm. she got her stuff together.
Yep.
Okay, we can rock with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if we didn't know what Obama was doing,
yeah,
it'd have been like, bro, like, this ain't the move.
Yeah.
Like, I don't trust you. You don't have no woman. Mm-hmm. You have no Facebook post. Nobody came out I used to date you in college. Like,
nobody.
The whole time in school, you did nothing? Yeah.
So
something wrong with you.
So do you think the question is going to become, does he like women? Because I think that's where it's going.
I would.
And that is going to be a real issue in the party that he's running with in particular.
Yes.
Like, if you made a great point, there is no woman we can connect you to.
That's crazy.
You 50.
He in his 50s. That's, dude, at least one. Now you acting like Manti Te'o talking about something. Yeah, I got a girlfriend, bro. Where?
Where's she at?
Like, I understand, like, keeping your personal life and your professional life separate. That's I like that. Mm-hmm. But your woman,
yeah,
like, and you in these people do a deep dive in your life before you run for office.
And he got nothing.
And nothing. They ain't find nothing. No baby mama. No girl you paid off to get an abortion. No, bro, nothing.
And even though, so he mentioned that he has had sex.
That's crazy.
Because when he first got into the public eye, he was like, no, I practice Puritan culture. I'm a virgin. I'm waiting until marriage. And then there was another interview, I believe, with Politico, where he was just like, oh, I fell off the wagon. I had sex, whatever. And now where's she at, though?
Now you're a threat, though. You fell the wagon.
Yeah.
Right? So now you out here doing bullshit.
But we haven't even seen her pop up.
Yeah, she wild, too.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, have you had sex? Like
even if you didn't, or even if you did, bro, just that is dangerous.
Yeah.
As a man, bro, I don't trust you because you ran on this merit of I'm a virgin. Mm-hmm. I'm this. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, because of peer pressure, you like, oh yeah, I did have sex. But that's high school level stuff. Like that's like, nah, guys, I am cool.
Yeah,
I did have sex.
I did it.
Like, I did the thing. I fricked her.
Right.
Like, bro, we about to elect you to run the country.
Yeah.
So now peer pressure is this is low level. What's gonna happen when the global folks are on your ass?
Well, and even the whole girlfriend thing, like all of a sudden, no, I do have a girlfriend. I'll introduce her to the public soon. Like even that felt. Yeah. It felt like you're only doing this because
you easily influence.
You know what people want to hear from you.
You're dangerous.
Yeah.
You're a man who's easily swayed.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah. I never even thought about it that way, but that's I'm sure it's a male's perspective. I thought about it as like this man is going to have a real issue in his party in particular, because the first thought is going to be, we can't connect you to any woman, and so you must not like women.
Right.
And we cannot have that.
Right.
We can't have that. Like, I mean, these are the same people who have spent millions of dollars across the globe on like anti-LGBTQ policy. They certainly don't want to elect a president, a black man in particular.
One.
Like, let's go. They already taking a chance on your ass. You're a dark-skinned black man at that. Bro, at least Obama was mixed.
From South Carolina.
From South.
Bro, you super black.
You
super black.
It's like blackity black.
You super black.
We're gonna get him one of them shirts and send it to the office.
But now, like as a man who I'm gonna trust somebody that I want to lead my people.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Because one week you this, next week you this, and then you say, oh, but I actually did this. Now I'm like, okay, let's take a step back and look at all the shit he probably lied about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And before I waste my time, just X him out, bro. Yep. Let's go and move on.
Yeah. It's gonna hurt him, but I'm gonna say this, and it's just me being messy. I can't wait to see what this girlfriend is that he wrote out. I am excited because what if she is like a sexy red?
That's gonna be crazy.
Oh my God.
What's crazy though? He might get a bunch of votes from people who never voted.
It could work. That's the thing. Like, oh yeah, she used to be a stripper, but she paid her way through school. She got her master's.
Yeah, bro.
Like that. Listen, I could sell somebody who had to dance to get their master's, and now she a pediatrician.
That'd be crazy.
That's the American story right there. She paid off her student loans by dancing. Yeah. Because Biden, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, they're going to impeach that boy the first year. It's going to be over with.
Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. All right, y'all. We are getting through it. This is good. Let's talk about North Korea. We mentioned this earlier, but North Korea is out there talking to Russia about weapons.
Okay. Gotta find friends.
Yeah, we all need friends. We all need friends. So, okay, y'all. So North Korea, Kim Jong-un went to Russia after America was like, don't go to Russia. We don't want you. He went anyway. And the reason that he went is because apparently Russia is running pretty low on ammunition. So remember back when Wagner Group, was still in play when it comes to Russia fighting Ukraine. So the Wagner Group had come out and was like, hey, you're not giving our people what they need. They need ammunition. They need the right tools to be able to help you in this war with Ukraine. And so it ended up being a bit of a spat between the Wagner leader, the one who went down in the plane about a month ago now, and Putin. That turned into an almost coup in Russia, which was stopped. So since then, Russia has, I think, really began to look for some type of camaraderie, given that they have actually been pretty isolated on the international scale since they invaded Ukraine. So North Korea is kind of perfect in that America really doesn't have any type of diplomatic relationship with either country, a great diplomatic relationship with either country. And so America found out that North Korea may be going over to Russia to talk about a potential arms deal. They told North Korea, don't do that. North Korea was like, fuck you. And Kim Jong-un got on an armored train, which smart.
Oh, yeah.
Smart.
Oh, yeah.
Got on an armored private train to go to Russia. And since then, he has been sitting in summit with Vladimir Putin. What's crazy, though, is that Kim Jong-un actually mentioned that they are in full support, and I'm putting this in quotes because these were his words, full support of Russia's sacred fight in Ukraine. The trade would probably be weapons, but also certain minerals and elements that Russia could use for weapons, so things like iron. In exchange, North Korea could get food.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know this, but also some technology for space exploration. It has been big on their agenda, but also they get an ally all of a sudden. This all came just 2 hours after North Korea launched 2 ballistic missiles into their eastern seas. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. When I heard about this last night, I was like, that's a power play. That's like a muscle flex right there. Because not only are you saying to America, like, first of all, you ain't gonna tell me where to go and where not to go. But also, I'm gonna come over here and then I'm gonna let you know that I'm actually about that life. And I'm just thinking, like, can you imagine the meeting, right, of Kim Jong-un's like top officials, his top deputies, and he's like, hey, launch 2 ballistic missiles. And they're like, nah, like America said, don't even come over here. Now you want, I said what I said. Launch the missiles. Not Taiwan. Japan and South Korea both confirmed that these missiles were launched. Y'all, shit is getting real. Like, if y'all are not paying attention on an international scale to what's happening in foreign affairs, it's almost like high school cliques forming.
Yes. And that's how I felt too, because I'm not really like, I don't really keep up with North Korea and all that stuff like that. But when I went and read it, I was like, yo, these are the 2 cousins who people don't really fool with.
Yeah.
And they becoming friends.
They getting real cool.
Because the other cousin who's like super on the outs, he ain't got no food, he ain't got no place to stay. Let me go holler at my other cousin who on the outs. Soon like, hey bro, that's kind of make
I got
work.
food, you got a place for me to stay. Why don't we get together?
And we both don't like the family anyway, so let's go ahead and make this happen. And then we about to like join this whole new group over here.
Yep.
So let's make this work.
Yeah.
And then, Kim out here traveling on the train. You know how brave you got to be to travel on a train?
But I feel like it's safer than trying to get a jet in the air, right? We saw what just happened to the Wagner boss.
Yeah, Buddy in Russia, yeah. But still, like, to think about, I'm going to travel on a train to Russia from North Korea. You bold.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't no easy trip.
And I mean, when you saw the type of train, because all of us know, if he know, we know. Yeah. We know that our country, one thing we will do is blow some shit up.
Yeah, we'll send a strike in a minute.
And so the fact that a plane wouldn't have done it, they gonna blow that hole right out the air.
Out the sky.
But an armored private train.
Crazy.
And they probably wouldn't have really known what car he was in. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm taking the whole freight. You ain't going to know where I'm at on this train.
All 100.
I need 100 cars in this hole.
But now, like Putin is already, like, you know, I think Putin pulled a lot of strings too. But, you know, Buddy in North Korea, like, where everything he's always done it like the bastardized child that nobody really, like, supported. But now he's coming and he's fooling people who are already trying to, like, move on. I mean, if I'm on an oust, I'm with it too.
I could use a cousin.
I'm going ahead.
I could use a cousin. I'm hungry. You ain't got no place to stay. All right.
You know, y'all trying to do brick still? Bet.
Yep.
Sign me up too as somebody who's in the mix.
Yep.
You know, I ain't tripping, but nah,
and BRICS is growing. Did they invite? Was it 7 new nations to join BRICS?
Everybody. My fear with that, and I know we could probably talk about this later, is that if they convince Africa to get in.
Yeah. Well, so South Africa is already a member, but they invited. Did they invite 2 more African nations? I believe. Yeah. So I mean, and look at what's happening with G20, right?
If they
light attendance,
bro. If they get, because, you know, they said Putin like gave like billions of dollars in debt to the African nation, then gave them more money. Yeah. If that happens, like, it's, you know, but that's a whole nother situation. But.
Well, and Putin does have a hand in what's going on in Africa right now with the coups in particular, because you have to remember that even with Niger, they had already requested the military new rulers had already requested Wagner forces to help them overthrow the current government, which a lot of people on the ground there, a lot of people from Niger actually called a puppet government to the United States. Yeah. So the fact that, like, Russia and the Wagner group are even there already playing in that yard, and then different. we saw what happened with Gabon. Like, it's real over there right now. We said on the show last week or 2 weeks ago, I love to see nations that have been under the thumb of colonialism for a very long time standing up. Yeah. I love to see the French losing their influence in Africa. And I know that people will be like, oh, that's anti-American. No, that is pro people having the right to live and eat off of their land without colonizers coming in and attempting to rape the land.
You know what's wild about Gabon? That was the first country that I was supposed to go to if I went to Ghana.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why didn't you go?
They took too long to respond to my emails. And Ghana hit us up quick. Plus, Gabon speaks French.
Yes.
So the translation was like different.
Gotcha.
So, but Ghana hit me back, and it was just faster.
That's dope.
But Gabon was like one of the ones that I was supposed to go to first.
That's awesome.
And then when they did when France didn't want to let the soccer team come in, I saw everything change.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah.
This is a wrap.
Yeah.
Get them out of here.
It's about to happen.
I mean, I really love to see it, and I do think that the people of the continent are speaking up for themselves.
Yeah.
And literally saying what a lot of us in the diaspora have known for a long time. They're like,
tired, bro.
They don't need anyone to feel sorry for them. They need you to leave them the fuck alone, so that they can thrive. Yeah.
Let us do us, bro.
Yeah. Like, just leave them alone. Yeah. And let them use their natural resources and natural talent to the best of their ability. So I'm definitely watching very closely what's going on with North Korea. I will say one more thing on this, y'all, is the head of, I believe it was the Navy, Air Force, one of the two, put out a statement 2 days ago saying that he fears that China is readying for war with the United States as they're expanding their military, but also looking very closely at their allies. And he believes that it is the reason that America is beginning to forge some of these new relationships, but also fortifying some of our older allyship. So I would encourage y'all to watch spending bills, in particular, who we are making arms deals with. We just approved $500 million in arms sales to Taiwan.
Yep.
We know that we continue to send billions of dollars of equipment and aid over to Ukraine. We are now doing military drills with several countries, including South Korea. So just begin to pay attention to who we're cozying up to.
But did you know that I'm pretty sure you do, they released like $6 billion to Iran?
Yes.
But they told them like, oh, you can only spend it on this way?
Yep.
But you ain't gonna tell them how to spend their money. That shit's crazy.
Yep. So I talked about that this morning. So what Reggie is talking about, y'all, is so we have been holding it's like your mom would like, let me hold your birthday money. Like, you take it out the card, I'm gonna hold it for you. So we have been holding Iran's money, and some of their oil actually. We've been keeping some of their oil. And so there are 5 Americans that they are attempting to have released from detention. And so the swap now is $6 billion of Iran's own money.
That's crazy.
For 5 Americans, which I think is absolutely arrogant as hell.
With rules.
But it's like telling somebody, giving them the EBT card and be like, but you can't buy meat. You can't buy crab legs.
Yes, it's
because America did try that, by the way, y'all.
They did try that.
They really did say that y'all couldn't buy some
like
food.
people do in the hood with the card, you're going to find ways around.
That's right.
That.
Hey, I'll trade you $1 billion in these food stamps for $2 billion in cash.
I buy this week, you give me some missiles. Shit.
All right.
Sign me up.
Look. Don't tell me how to use my money.
Right. Well,
that's
don't sign
crazy.
me up because I ain't with that. But
yeah,
that's crazy.
That would be fraud. That would be
extremely. But nah, man, like when I saw that, I said $6 billion. Like,
$6 billion.
America's some bullies, bro.
And then have the nerve to tell other people how they should behave.
Yeah, that's nuts. But respect it. You gotta respect it.
I saw a TikTok today that made me laugh. This girl was like it was a skit. She was like, I fucking hate this country sometimes. It's terrible. And then she cut to a shot of Coco Gauff. And she was like, red, white, and blue, bitch. And I'm like, that's us. Like, that's our relationship with our country, where it's just like, yo, we are trash. But then, like, somebody comes after us and we like, hey, who am I shooting first?
Right.
Like,
that's like Noah Lyles. He was like, I don't like America sometimes, but world champs. Like, we the world champs.
Hey,
that's
red,
crazy.
white, blue, bitch. Like,
that's crazy.
So yeah, like she really captured, I think, what a lot of us feel about our country. We're like, yo, this place is garbage until somebody wins like the U.S. Open, and then we all.
Something wild happen, you be like, yeah, I'm glad I ain't over there.
Yeah, right.
That shit's crazy.
Right. Yeah. All right, and our last story, y'all. Football is back. Deion Sanders did his thing.
My dog.
With Colorado, but we're not going to even talk about that. I really want to talk about NIL and what this means for the new generation of athletes coming into college or already there, who are now able to take advantage of what has been a long fight in policy and legislation to get these kids to be able to benefit from their bodies, their likeness, their names. Because, I mean, you were part of the generation that couldn't benefit.
We had no chance in hell.
Yeah. So, like, talk to us. This is your segment. I'm giving you this story, and I'm a co-host.
I could talk about Putin and all them boys, but I can talk about my lane, not the But nah, so with the NIL, man, if you think about the concept of it, it shouldn't even have been a battle.
Can you tell my people what NIL is?
So NIL just means name, image, and likeness, right? So that's 3 things of a person. Mm-hmm. So your name, which is my name, your image, what you look like to people, but then your likeness. Are they using things that's
like video games or AI or something like that?
Or just like things that you do. Okay. Right? So like you mentioned Dion. Dion had that dance. Mm-hmm. If I do the dance or the gritty, let's keep it like relevant, like the gritty. Mm-hmm. The gritty is tied to Justin Jefferson. Okay. If somebody does that, they're gonna say, "Oh, that's the Justin Jefferson dance." Mm-hmm. That's like likeness. And when we play college ball, like we begin to gain like notoriety, and people wanted to do the things that we were doing, mm-hmm. wear our numbers, or wear the hair way that we did it, or do the things that we did, but we couldn't profit off of that.
Okay.
And I still don't even understand why though. Like, it's still like a thing to me. Like, yo, why couldn't I have made money off of an autograph of me?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like, you think about it, it's weird. I sign a receipt every day when I buy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, why is it illegal for me to, as a college athlete, to go and sign an autograph and make money off of it? So the NIL for me is a breath of fresh air, but it's also a moment to take a step back and say, where are the potential risks now? Because we still lacking the financial literacy. We still lacking the real ecosystem of like who we are as athletes. Because most athletes go to college, and if you ask them, they're not trying to go to school for themselves. They're there to take care of my mama, my cousins, my neighborhood, everybody else. So it's like they get shown a deal for their name, image, and likeness. So you had a kid sign a 25-year loan at 15% of his pre-taxed NFL money for $400K. Somebody around you should be able to say, yo, bro, 25 years? Bro, the average player plays 3 years.
That's right.
So why are you doing 25 years of that, right? That's 7 times your lifespan, right? But when you're the savior of the neighborhood, shit, we gotta get this money now.
Where you can, yeah.
So I think, although the law was passed, I think they did this to prove a point that they didn't need this.
That the kids didn't need this?
Nah.
Okay.
And I think we did, but you let it open with no guardrails.
So then, okay. So let me back it up real quick and just talk about the fight in particular that went on for years and years and years. Until this went up to the Supreme Court, y'all.
It needed to.
Yeah, 100%. This went up to the Supreme Court, and I mean, you have these colleges and universities making some of them billions on the backs of these student athletes. Coaches pulling in millions.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember one of my good friends who played at UCLA first and then transferred. I remember him telling me, like, you know, how he didn't have money sometime to eat. How, you know, his underwear was holy and he would have to call his mama. And I mean, this is a full-time student athlete who is known all across Los Angeles, but at the end of the day, can't even get food or new underwear.
Below the poverty line.
Right.
Easy.
And so this went up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said that these institutions were not allowed to stop these student athletes from making money off of their NIL, their name, image, or likeness. So this went into play. I think it's fantastic. And at first, I'm going to be honest, I was one of the people that was like, oh, you getting a degree for free, until I actually talked to friends who were in these programs. And when they talked about like, wait a minute, you put your body on the line every day for these people, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day for practices, and you can't eat?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? I 100% got behind it. My question for you, though, is how do we help these, I'm gonna say probably mostly young men, but there may be some young women who benefit if they have the right type of brand and, you know, personality for it. Like, how do we help them as older cousins, right, who you've been there, you knew what it was like not to be able to make money off of your name, image, and likeness. Like, how do you help them make the right financial decisions when that big money starts coming in? I
think we have to look at it and not consider them as superstars.
Okay.
Right?
They're kids.
They're people, right? So athletes are people. And if you go get a job, you're never going to let somebody work you more than what they're willing to pay you. So if you're talking to an athlete, look at them as if they're an employee. And that's what the argument was. So the NCAA really got out of that deal because they pretty much said, oh, you can make money off your NIL. But the schools still never deemed the athletes as employees. So they really didn't. So they don't have to pay them. Right. You got to go find your own deals. Get your own stuff.
Got it.
So as a cousin or a older individual or somebody who got some sense, you can't look at the athlete as, hey, you're on TV, because we know followers and fame don't equal money, right? You got to have some sort of sense, some savviness, and a team. So if you want to help an athlete, look at them as an employee first. What is this kid worth? And if you don't know what this kid is worth, then look at the market, right? Like this kid's bringing in an X amount, right? Like if a kid jersey in the bookstore is selling, cause y'all go to the bookstore, if a bookstore jersey is selling for $100, at 20%, it's $20. So I mean, at least give them $20 per jersey. How many jerseys are being sold?
But does that mean that now this student needs a business manager, agent?
They need everything. They need a whole ecosystem.
A lawyer.
Because you got to think about the student athlete is technically a corporation. Every corporation have departments. You got operations, you got the marketing, you got branding, you got legal.
Yeah.
You're
the Beyonce of your campus.
They need everything.
Yeah.
Like, cause they're not just somebody who needs a financial advisor. They need a financial advisor, a damn psychologist, a lawyer, like a nutritionist, a dietitian. Like, because in order for that athlete to make money, he has to be well run.
Yeah.
He needs a team. Look at LeBron James' whole team. Like, it's more than just somebody that's managing his money.
Right.
And I think that's where everybody missed the mark too, is that just because they can make money off the NIL don't mean they need to start making money off their NIL right now.
Okay.
They got to build a team around them to say, hey, let's get you set up. Like, what's your actual brand? Who are you?
Got it.
Because what's happening now is that people aren't even giving these kids NIL deals. They're just giving them money. So they say, hey, come to my school. I'll give you $400K. For what?
The school is saying that?
Not the school.
Oh.
Not the school up front, but somebody who represents the school. So you graduated from your alma mater, you like this kid, you got some change. You might say, yo, coach, I'll give this kid $1 million if he commits. Well, in my recruiting pitch, I'm gonna say, hey, I want you to go talk to this young lady over here. You know, we want you. We really want you here. Go talk to the lady over here. Well, you give him $1 million. To do what though? Just come to the school. So now, this is what everybody's fighting about, is that you're not using the NIL for what it's for. You're just paying kids to come to your school. So now you're giving the kid $1 million just to sign to your school. Okay. You still haven't taught him how to use his name and likeness though.
Do you think it would be beneficial for schools to actually teach that?
That's the law.
They have to teach them?
They had their first year and the junior year. This was the initial law passed. Their freshman year, they had to take a class on financial literacy and branding.
Okay. So, got it. I thought it was like an NIL class. I was like, damn, but I get what you're saying.
Right? So they are required to teach them how to actually use their NIL.
Okay.
Ain't nobody doing that class, man.
So then where does that leave these schools? If they're not actually doing what the law says, then what? But
then the NCAA came back with, hey, whatever the state says. So now the NCAA is doing what America does. Yo, this our law, but then the state, the local,
right,
and the school.
Because we don't want government to get too big.
So now every school has their own rules.
Okay.
So now every school has their own rules. Every conference has their own rules, and every state has their own rule. So Texas passed a law recently saying that the NCAA can't even come and touch any of their schools in Texas if one of them kids break the NIL law.
So, okay, so say that to me again.
So the NCAA can't sanction a university for breaking name, image, and likeness laws because the state says you can't touch any of our schools in our state.
Texas said that.
Texas, somebody else, I think, like a couple more states, like Colorado and stuff, like they're all passing these laws saying the NCAA can't touch our schools.
So now,
but then
I can do what I want with these kids.
I do whatever I want to do and give them any kind of money that I want. But then the IRS came through and said these collectives, which is a collective is a group of people like you and a bunch of alumni, create this nonprofit and say we're gonna fund NIL for kids. Well, the IRS says your 501c3 is no longer a nonprofit because you're not benefiting the masses. You're sending money to one kid.
Got it.
So Texas A&M just lost their nonprofit collective because they were just funneling money to individual kids.
So let me ask you this: these collectives, right? What's in it for them? Do they? I'm just trying to figure out, because ain't nobody doing nothing for free around here.
Ain't nobody doing nothing for free.
We know this. So are they coming up? Say Reggie is the next hottest thing, right, at a university down here in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come and throw him $400K.
Yep.
For the year, but I know his NIL could be worth millions for the year. Do I have him sign that over and be like, I'll give you this $400K if you sign over your rights? Like, how did they benefit?
So it's depending on what the contract verbiage says.
Okay.
So you got so the NCAA rule says that your NIL deal can't go past your eligibility. So it's only 4 years, right? Okay. Well, the kid in Florida, that already passed because they signed him to a double deal in one contract.
What does that mean?
So they said for the lifetime, for the time that you're in school, and then when that ends, we're kicking another one for when you're in the pros.
What?
It was in one contract. So
you get
signed,
4 years of their eligibility, boom, plus
then 25 years of their pro.
25 years?
At 15%.
Hold on. You are telling me that they are handing these kids contracts that says, I'm going to take 4 years of your eligibility, plus, and you said that the average is 3 years. So just in case you have a long career in the NFL, I'm going to eat off you
15% of their pre-taxed income.
Pre-taxed. They went for the gross.
Right. So that is, it's kind of like a situation where the collectives are I just love my school, so I'm going to support these players, and in return, my school is going to give me a name on a building or season tickets, or like they're going to get something at the school in return for that. Or if the collective is running a company, well, I'll make sure that he comes and does a commercial for my company. So that's the nonprofit's obligation. Like, hey, you got to come do 2 events a month. Well, if 10 of us are in it and we got businesses or whatever, well, one event will be mine, right, one event will be yours, and then we'll have this kid doing these events. But as an agent, or as somebody who develops athletes, I would say your collective agreement needs to be predicated on how much your value is. And if I'm doing this collective, I got to do an event for you, but your average ticket price is worth more than the money that all of y'all gave me. Yep. Shit, we gotta go back and renegotiate. I need a door deal. This. Yeah, we need me a door deal. We need to go over and renegotiate this.
That's right.
Because if one commercial influences people to come and buy your stuff, and your ticket price is more than what you paid me, you just hustled me. Yep. Because now I'm obligated to all 10 of y'all, and I just made y'all $20 million.
And I maybe have gotten
$1 million, maybe.
That's crazy.
But that's the hustle, because there's no CBA.
What's CBA?
Or like a union.
Okay.
For college athletes. The NFL has the NFLPA. NBA has the NBAPA. Every pro athlete, every pro organization has a PA. Right. The colleges don't. Yeah. So there's nobody saying what you can and can't do in these deals.
Do you see that coming at some point?
Yes. It's called the PASS Act. Okay. So they're trying to pass that now. So they want to certify every athlete, certify every agent, and whoever's working with athletes has to be certified through the NCAA. Okay. I think it's good, but it also shuts people out too. It shuts people out who didn't go to school for 2 years, for 4 years, who didn't get a master's and didn't do the deal. So it kind of puts them in the same position with the pros. But when you get contracts where it's like 15% for 25 years, or 50% of each deal, or kids sign over a power of attorney to not agents, they're signing this over to like uncles who are negotiating deals on their behalf, getting $100,000 and giving them 20. I'm in college. I'm in college, cuz $20K for me.
That's a big deal.
Shit, sign me up.
So do you think now that there could be a new wave of folks who represent these players at what was once considered an amateur level of the sport?
Yeah. A bunch.
Like, I know people who are interested in like representation at the pro levels, but like, is that
it's easier to do an NIL to become an NIL agent. It's a lot easier.
Okay.
Because an NIL agent is no different than a marketing agent.
Got it.
So all I gotta do is sign you to a deal, and whatever marketing deal I get you, let's negotiate this price.
Yeah.
Right. But with the NFL says you only get 3% of the contract. So that's the cap. Mm-hmm. But in the college space, you can get 20, 30
as an agent.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the point, right? I don't want people to be interested in this to get over on these kids, but I do think that it is important, you know, for people who are interested in like representing, right,
yeah.
to start looking in this space, because obviously these kids need
yes.
that team. They need good people on their teams to help them from being taken advantage of.
From doing weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like getting $400K for a 15-year 25-year payback.
Right.
At 15%.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
That's
because you don't know what your earnings are going to be, and so to eat like what?
But the kid even signed. He checked the box where he acknowledged that if he made $100 million, he got to pay back $15 million. He checked the box.
Pre-tax.
So, becoming an NIL agent is a lot easier. We have a certification at our program where we certify people to work with athletes holistically. Mm-hmm. But even if you do become an agent, you still want to have relationships with lawyers.
Okay.
Right? And financial advisors and accountants and stuff like that, because
the team.
Yeah, you want to build your team out. Mm-hmm. Because this kid needs it. This kid needs a team of people where mama can't be the agent. Mm-hmm. Mama can't be the manager.
Yeah.
Because there's this thing going around now, momager. Your mama can't be your manager.
Unless she went to law school, y'all.
Unless she's managed something.
And yeah.
Because if you're going to school to get your mama out the goddamn situation, then obviously she's not the right person. Because you wouldn't sign to an agent who ain't got no money.
Yeah.
You wouldn't sign to an agent who's struggling.
That's and I'm gonna be honest, like if my mama wanted to be my agent, I'm 100% signing her up. But I've watched Deborah move some shit too. Like that's the thing. But everyone doesn't have that.
Right.
And so I do think what these kids see is like, this is the one person I know I've always been able to depend on.
Trust. Yeah.
I can trust her. And so I think they go with their first mind. But that's why I also think it's important for like people to have a sense of like, yeah, I want to make money, but I also want to make sure like that our kids aren't being literally scraped for what they have before they even get it.
And then this is what they're also trying to pass, and they went to the Senate too and trying to pass this joint where there's a salary cap
for
athletes,
college athletes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It won't work.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in college you say that I can get part of the free market, but then tell me I can only make this much.
Hey.
But then tell me I'm not an employee.
That's the American way. I'll give you your $6 billion,
but the only way the NFL works is because those guys are employees.
Yeah.
If the NCAA doesn't want to admit that we are employees, then you can't tell me how much I can and can't make.
That's true.
Because the moment you say what I can and can't make, then I become an employee.
That's right.
Then now you got to pay me.
You got to pay me.
According to that.
And my degree is part of my benefit package. Yeah.
And they don't want to play that game is not worth it to them. I'll let y'all go out into the free market and do y'all thing. Mm-hmm. You get in trouble, it's on you. You get shysted, it's on you.
That's another good point. It keeps the school from having any type of liability if there is any trouble with these NIL deals.
It's on you, brother.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
But then the school says an agent has to register with the school to work with their athletes. Okay, cool. But then nobody's really guardrailing that, so you can go slide in the kid's DM. As long as they sign it,
you good.
You. So it's like the college space is such a fertile ground for people to come and take advantage of these athletes.
Yeah.
But it's a place where I think we can literally create like generational wealth at that level.
Yeah.
Because these kids can see six figures if they play it right. Mm-hmm. But they're all looking for the Nike deals.
The right now.
Man, that shit ain't gonna make sense.
Yeah.
But these legislative people are trying to pass laws where they saying, yo, before these kids catch on to what we actually doing, let's put some rules in place where they cannot make that much money.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there was a article just passed recently. Caleb Williams, he's a QB at USC. He won the Heisman last year. He said, "Yo, if the number one pick in the NFL is not what I like, I'm going back to school."
I love it.
So now it's like, yo, the NFL might slide in and say, "Yo, all right,
I love it.
let's bump this down a little bit," because it's like now these kids are like, "Yeah, I don't want to go play for the Cardinals."
And that's real. Like, if I can get my bread and stay in school another year until I get a team that I actually want to play for, why not? Why not? I mean, it's like the NBA. We saw something similar, right, with a lot of these development leagues popping up or kids going overseas. It's like, wait, I don't have to go through what used to be the gatekeeper for the NBA. I can go play, make some money,
bread,
right?
Build me international
make sure
brand.
my mama good, and then I can come over here and enter the draft and do what I do. And so, I 100% get that. And I hadn't heard that Caleb had said that, but I love that.
Yeah,
it shows that when you have options, you are in a powerful position. Right?
Now, so his NIL stuff is different. You see him on commercials everywhere.
Yeah.
This dude on commercials on Roku, on Hulu, but he's also got an NIL deal with a real estate firm that's teaching him about real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I love it.
So for him, he's doing real NIL deals. Deion's son shut a door, got Gatorade, got Beats by Dre, he's doing real. Oh, we're gonna use you in this, commercial. Brady, he got real deals. I feel bad for the kids who are just getting money.
Yeah.
Money is great, cool. Yes, we deserve our get back, and this is, whatever. But you give a kid $500,000 for one Instagram post. Realistically, who's on this kid's followers that's buying your product? If you're giving this kid $500,000.
Yeah.
So these people are already paying for association.
Oh God.
And we're still getting pimped. Like, it's like, damn, like, yo, you giving me $500,000 to make one post on Instagram? I know I'm worth a lot more now.
That's right.
But I'm still getting hustled though.
But I think, we talk about that with gentrification, right? This is why people are able to come into neighborhoods and buy up people's houses for little of nothing, because if you've never seen that type of money, it's your eyes get big.
Oh,
it's just like, wait, you gonna tell me you'll give me $100K, $400K? I ain't never seen $100K or $400K.
Right.
And so, I'm gonna take it. Like, and I'm not thinking about the long term of like, hey, if I start small, build a team around me, right? Like,
Man,
get them local businesses under my belt first.
A bunch of them.
Yeah.
Like, they need marketing too. Like, if we're talking about small businesses, like, that's where you go. But you remember when like everybody passed this law when Obama was like these payday loans and stuff like that, and he went after them hard.
Yep.
Well, they shifted the hustle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the kids now.
I remember. Yeah.
I'm going to the kids.
Yep.
If I could give a kid a deal, the NIL has become the new Sally Mae.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm gonna give you this little money, $400,000, and you pay me back in 25 years.
But you're gonna pay me 15% of whatever you make.
I'm smoking you.
Yep.
Because now, what Sally Mae didn't have was a futures to collateralize. So they was like, oh, your degree, they ain't give a shit if you majored in basketball even. They just gave you money to go to school. Now these folks are looking like, yo, this dude might go first round.
We like the way he looking. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give him 15% for 25 years. You just mortgaged your NIL.
Your entire career.
That's worse than in perpetuity.
That's crazy.
15% of your gross. Okay, well, what if I only get one contract? And Buddy, who did that, he only got like I think it was like 3 years, 6.7 million, right? So they said like over that time of the deal, he was going to pay 1.2 million, right? But let's say he balls out and he develops into like this super athlete, and he gets another contract where he gets more money. Now he goes from 6 to 17.
Yeah.
Now you paying 15% on 17 million. And let's say you happen to get a good agent who gets you a third contract. So in 7 years, you've paid these folks 15% on every deal you just got.
For $400K.
For $400K when you was in college, on top of the 3% you paying your agent.
Plus whatever the rest of the team take, because we know we got to play. Yeah.
Plus your jock tax, because in every state you play in, you getting taxed. So we talk about like building a team around an athlete. Like, yo, this ain't just
they paying out money. They writing checks. Which is why a lot of them have a business manager to handle the business of them. Yeah. So okay, let's switch to RPA and where RPA comes in to help kids navigate this. Like this, because that's a lot for a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid who really is just trying to play ball.
That's it. So our goal, man, has always been to help them navigate this process. It's never been about winning championships. We only care about winning games and all that stuff like that, because at the end of the day, our way of winning games is to see a kid provide for himself and his family. However that looks. I'm not against them trying to go pro or whatever. Like, I want them to go pro.
Yeah.
So we put together a program for the last like 6 years where we were focusing on those who were underdeveloped, undervalued, and under-equipped.
Okay.
So when you see a kid in inner city, rural area, small town, whatever, they can play. You're never going to knock an athlete. He can play. But they're missing some things that they need to succeed at the next level where they trying to go.
Okay.
When I got to college, I went to Prairie View first. And I didn't know anything about FAFSA, no student loan. I'm thinking, like, it's like high school. Every grade you go, your stuff just follows you. So I go to school. I'm just like, okay, cool. They gave me a bill, and I'm like, what this for? They're like, oh, you owe this. Oh, I ain't got that. I went home, joined the Army.
That's how that happened.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, shit. Like, all right, Army.
Okay.
That's just what it was.
Yeah.
And even me joining the Army, I didn't even read the rules of my contract then. Them people just said, we're going to give you X amount to join and we'll pay for school. Bet. I'm in.
Yeah.
Right? So when I did that, I got my leadership skills from the military. So I'm like, man, everybody should join the military. Just do basic and just learn the leadership stuff. So we created RPA to mimic my process of joining the Army.
Okay.
Like getting the leadership skills, learning who you are, and find out your plan, and then going into your career, and then going to where you're gonna be stationed. And that's just kind of like what we built, but we took it from the athlete approach.
Okay.
Every athlete we've dealt with, whether they're a superstar athlete or a no-name athlete, they go through the same thing.
So what does your curriculum look like for them?
Depends on who the kid is.
Okay.
So if we get a kid who just graduated high school, senior, has no offers, probably didn't play much, got a 2.3 GPA, right? That's not going to get him into college at all. So what we do is we want to get them some college credits where we can make them become a transfer.
So you build up the GPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in college, to be a transfer, you got to have, at some schools, like 20 hours.
Okay.
And they never look at your high school transcript ever again. So a lot of athletes, they have trouble getting to school because their high school transcript is trash. So we want to just get rid of your transcript. Okay, cool. Let's get you a college one. Now they're going to look at you as a college transfer, not a high school athlete.
Got it. And during this time, so, I mean, they got to stay in shape. They got to, so there's also an athletic development.
It's workouts, it's practice, it's training. So we also play against the colleges in Texas, in New Mexico, Arkansas.
Okay.
So we actually compete against the small schools in Texas. And we do that so that our guys can be seen in person by the other scouts.
Got it.
So we kind of mix the two.
That's smart. Yeah.
Right. So we did that, and we've had tremendous success with that. But the overall piece is we're not a college in the sense of the traditional system. We outsource that.
Yep.
The education piece, go to a school that's accredited, and we'll give you the classes. We already broken a deal with them where your class is going to be structured where you don't become a full-time student because that's the eligibility stuff of it. But
okay.
Yeah.
So if they were full-time, that would be a year, their eligibility.
It burns it.
Got it. Okay.
So we structure it where they get the same amount of hours in the year without ever going to school full time though.
Got it. And do you have like specific relationships with certain schools?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Dallas, do you have any?
No.
Okay.
We actually do everything online.
Okay.
And we do it online because we took the model from the tennis players, the gymnastics, when they do online.
Well, a lot of them have to, go to school.
They focus heavily on their sport. So
Yeah.
we do that. So in case we travel or if an athlete has to travel to go visit a college, they never miss school.
Got it. Okay.
And if we get a kid who may have failed out of school, of college in the middle of the year, we can get them into classes when they show up.
Okay.
Because all of our classes are on demand. So I took everything that I wished I had in school.
That's dope.
And put it into what we're doing. And granted, it's different. It's not traditional.
But it's very creative in that, like, it's what these kids need to get where they're going.
The funniest thing, and I wish I had this tweet. I think I might have like got rid of it, but I tweeted in 2016. I said, "Online school will be the thing for athletes," and everybody laughed at me. And then COVID happened,
And online school was the thing for everybody.
and I laughed because for us, nothing that we did during COVID changed.
Yeah.
We did the same. We did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
We never changed at all, right? But for us, what RPA stands for is solely about recruiting, preparing, and achieving. That's it. Because we want to recruit you, and then it's not just like, yo, I like your film, come here. It's what do you need? Where you're from? Who's your family?
Yeah.
Who decides you're gonna come to RPA? Because in recruiting, you have to know who the decision maker.
Okay.
So who the person is? It grandma? Is it uncle?
Mama, or
Is
yeah.
it, who's the one who's influencing you to make decisions? So we gotta know who that is, right? What do you want to do when you grow past this sports thing? Because whether sports ends in 20 years or 1 year, there's a transition that's going to happen.
So you're talking to them about, hey, you may be taking classes online, but let's start talking about if pro is not an option.
Let's talk some real stuff.
What like you like finance, you like construction, like what's up?
Do you want to be a chef?
Yeah.
We've had kids who want to become a chef. That's not a 4-year degree.
And that's cool.
That's culinary
That means we
school.
don't even have to fool with.
So let's get you into culinary school.
That's it, yeah.
You play for us. You still can live through your college playing experience, but you're in your career though.
That's brilliant on so many levels, Reggie. That is
Like,
brilliant.
Why do you have to go to now? If you get your culinary license and you just want to go to school, just to kind of, okay, cool, but don't go to school for 4 years and major in sociology.
Right.
I don't know I don't know no person who's a sociologist.
Well, I can make you a sociologist. I got a bunch of books that I can send you that will
But that's what they
teach
take.
you that principle.
And that's why we're talking.
And it's because it's one of the lighter.
And it's the easy way to stay eligible.
Yeah.
So I don't care about you being eligible. I want you to be efficient.
Yeah.
So I talk about stuff that's not cool.
I love that though.
What do you want to do when it's all said and done? Okay, you want to be a coach? Okay, cool. You can go become a coach by majoring in teaching. Cool. But while you're on this team, ask your coach, can you learn under him?
That's it.
So
it's
that when
real
you,
life.
So when you graduate, you can literally say, I got 4 years of experience at a Division 3, 2, NAIA, or D1.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, if your outcome is to become a coach, well, go become an intern while you're in school. Stop taking bullshit internships. Just
the unpaid
right.
ain't getting you. Well,
You know, so that's kind of where we focused a lot of our deals at. Like my partner is my very first recruit at RPA.
Okay.
He does all my websites, all my videos.
That's dope.
He does his own stuff now. He got his own company now.
Yeah.
And he's 25.
I love it.
So for me, I'm like, bro, he came to me and he was like, Coach, look, I'm done with this football stuff.
And you prepared him. You had him prepared.
The first thing I said was like, so what do you want to do? Because before you jump out of this one, have a plan for the next one. Because if not, just stay in this child's game until you figure it out. At least you're doing something that you're comfortable with and you know. But I don't want you to like leave football or basketball and go into the real world without no plan. It swallowed you up like big time. I was one of them. The NFL didn't call me. The next day I'm looking for a job. And I don't know how to look for a job. I had no resume. I'm like, bro, I play football.
That's what you've done. Yeah. Yeah.
But it took me about a year and a half, 2 years to realize, like, okay, I was a team captain. I won these awards. Okay, how can I turn those things into a resume? So now I'm like, okay, team captain. Okay, I was a manager of a small group. I met with upper management every week. Okay,
Yeah.
this one, like, but you don't learn that until you learn what actually goes on a resume. So,
Right. And
so that's
so-
kind of where I was, man, and that's what we built.
I love it because it circles back to the conversation we had about, you know, these kids just not knowing. They, you know, what they've known for, what you say, 17 years is football.
That's
and
it.
so all of a sudden you're asking them to go figure out how to make money off their name, image, likeness, or how to manage that money,
Yeah.
how to read through a deal. Like, no, I've played football. So I mean, I really love it. And y'all, this is why I said, like, when I learned about what Reggie was doing, like, I thought it was absolutely amazing. And as I'm learning more about it right now, like, you are brilliant in your own right, because
Appreciate that.
it really creates space for the athlete who turns pro and has learned everything that they need to know, right, from that space, or the athlete who may not get the chance to go pro,
Right.
but has all of a sudden created a pathway, a career pathway for themselves, while still being able to do what they love. So that's super dope. I do want to ask, like, what's next for RPA?
So, you know, we've been dabbling in the international space.
Okay.
So we went to Ghana twice. We're working on Amsterdam and Europe. And we're doing that because athletes don't get the exchange opportunity that everybody else gets.
Got it. Yeah.
So everybody gets to go do a student exchange, right? Athletes don't. So the NCAA has a rule where they can take 1 year to do whatever they want to do. So
Okay.
we want to build that and say, hey, look, let's get you overseas.
That's dope. Yeah.
Let's build your brand overseas.
Yeah.
Now that when you come back, we can maximize your NIL too, because now you have a overseas plug too.
I love it.
So now it's like, how do we take regular people stuff and allow athletes to experience it without being in this capsule that you don't get to experience a lot of the stuff. Like, all my athletes are required to get a passport.
Okay.
So as soon as they come here, like, got passport? No, get one. Not just because you want to travel to Cancun, but shit, like, what if somebody call you and, because I was one of them dudes.
Yeah.
I had a contract from Germany that I didn't sign because I was cocky as hell. And I said, I'm going to the NFL. And I ain't signed it. But in the deal, it said, if the NFL signed me, I can get out my deal. But I
Didn't read it.
Nope.
Yep.
Didn't read it. Didn't even care. I was like, all right, thanks, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to leave.
Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah.
So next for RPA, man, like, we took 2023 off. We're coming back in 2024. And then the way that we're doing it is we're going to minimize the amount of games and increase the exposure of where they're going to go.
Got it.
Whether it's overseas, whether that's, you know, playing in like a small tournament or whatever the case may be. But and then we started finding trainers and coaches.
That's amazing.
So every trainer wants to work with an athlete, but they don't know how. They all just like the physical piece. But who cares about that piece if that kid goes to school and commits armed robbery?
Right. Who
Who does he call when he's hungry in the middle of the night? Right. So we took this year off and just like refocus on what we want to do and not get wrapped up in the whirlwind of, I got to be first to get this kid.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't care about that.
That's great.
You know, so that's kind of where we are, man. And then we'll have 10 locations within the U.S. Based on who passes our certifications and like really is doing it to the level that we want. But we'll start building our little franchises within the U.S. And then continue working with the governments overseas.
You're amazing. This is dope, and I can't wait to see you guys come back. I definitely want to come and talk to you again once you guys get back, and especially when you, because I love the exchange piece. I think you're right. Like, you know, because they're athletes doesn't mean that they shouldn't have the ability to expand really their horizons. And I am a big believer that traveling, reading, it makes you a more empathetic countryman, but also like citizen of the world. And so that's really dope.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I'm excited, man. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
know.
All right, we got to wrap this thing up, y'all. We've been hanging out for a while. Tell the people where to find you.
Yeah, you do find me on every internet thing as Reggie Calhoun Jr.
Internet thing.
Social media, LinkedIn, Google. Shit.
Hell,
Like
MySpace.
MySpace, you know, Reggie
What
Calhoun
was it, Black
Jr.,
Planet?
man. Shoot, Black Planet, my name was crazy on that one.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah,
I don't even want to know.
yeah, that was
It was a
wild.
different time.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
High school was a... Anyways.
Wild times.
Yeah, but now Reggie Calhoun Jr. on every platform. And then wearerpa.org is our website for everything about RPA.
Yeah.
And then our certification is under calhounglobal.net.
Got
so
it. I'll put all that in the show notes for the people.
Sure.
So yeah, if
that's kind of where we are, man. And
if y'all have student athletes or if you are interested in a certification, I'll make sure that's in the show notes for this week. So, well, thank you, Reggie, for coming to hang with me.
Hey, for sure.
This was great. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
But I always learn a lot when I'm sitting with him, y'all. That's the cool thing about having friends that are super smart.
But you made me go research, though. I'm like, yo, the government crazy. Yeah.
The world.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, but we're going to get out of here. Make sure you follow Reggie Calhoun Jr. on all the things, including Black Planet and MySpace. And then the Green Route Pod on all the things for us. And then I Drink Politics for me. But this has been amazing. I cannot wait to have Reggie back.
Oh, yeah.
When he relaunches and then when we move into the new space, we're going to do some real cool stuff, have some mashup episodes, bring strangers together.
It's gonna be crazy.
So we can talk politics over liquor and cussing.
It's gonna be crazy.
But yeah, y'all have a great night. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, tell your mama and them that we out here, and we will see y'all later. Have a good one.